Welcome to FaithFocals. My name is Faith. We are at base 2, which is super exciting to me because I like this one better than base 1. And we've been disconnected from it for so long. I'm just having a look at my supplies and trying to figure out what I'll be needing today. We've had a couple deaths since the just over time. Thankfully, I was able to reconnect with this base, but we're very low on supplies. So I want to build up my supplies here, and then once we are all set to go, we're going to try to hit the Nether again, maybe. See if we can establish a connection between base 2 and base 1. I think, for one thing, I'm going to need iron, and then I've got to remember to get that that diamond next to the lava pool down here. I don't know how many of my viewers that's been driving crazy, so maybe I'll try to get it today. I went ahead and derailed my train of thought again, so let's see, I was iron. Let's see, where... Let me go ahead and start a decent wood grove. We're next to some... Is it turning night? I may have to go to bed. We are next to some oaks, which is great. The other thing I wanted... I can't do that without a bucket. I was thinking I want to expand the drop pool, but... There's just so much to pull together since I'm basically starting anew here, but very excited given the setting. I was going to say, when I was in the Nether last time, I was looking all over for the portal. I did, while I was off stream, check out the I opened a world in creative and just kind of randomly placed some portals and tried to see how long it took me to get from one to the other, and it wasn't really that long. Oh, those guys again. At least they're heading that way. Ah, this guy. Okay. So the trek through the Nether in the creative world was not as long as I was expecting. I wasn't aware of how easy to expect it to be. I can start oh, I've already got a farm there. That's good. I forget from stream to stream what I've accomplished. I haven't yet gone back to rewatch the most recent stream. Let me go see if I can pull that up. Expand the farm. So I expect that the portal back to my old base is really shorter than the effort that I was putting in the last stream to find it would suggest. And I think what happened is this should be north, if I remember properly. My base is a little to the west. And I think the last time that I was in the Nether, I headed north, but I was bearing to the east. I remember seeing a crimson forest. Don't remember the right way to say that, if it's a crimson fungus forest or whatever it is. But and I had not remembered seeing a crimson forest before. Okay, so I've got... You know what? I was thinking I'd set up a grove of trees here, but I need torches for that. So the first priority is just acting like I'm starting from the beginning. I've got some wood on hand. I think my crafting table is downstairs. So that's what I'll focus on. There we go. We're going to make a cheapo pickaxe here. And then get better tools. So I had avoided the crimson forest because I did not recognize it, but I think that probably was the way to go because it was further west. So today, if I get a chance to go into the Nether, I want to hit that crimson forest, walk through it, see if there's anything interesting on the other side. So that's a good starting point. And let me get the coal and iron around here. I'll prioritize coal for now. Okay, so starting straight from the top like always, except we've got great digs to start from a good base. With lots of varied terrain and some diamond nearby, right at the proper level. I probably want to focus on doing another 1x1 pinwheel mine. But may as well hit the stuff I can see early. Oh, I started a new world and I went back to my habit of... That did not work. I went back to my habit of mining around the ores instead of mining straight through them. With the update, the one that expands the height and depth of the world, the 21W, is it 07B now? I'm not quite sure where to expect the ores to be anymore. In the current update, I can expect them to be around where I am, level Y11. Where is that lava? Is that the lava? No, this is the rectangle lava. Okay. Okay. And then I thought I saw iron out of the corner of my eye. There it is. So with the change in the ore distribution, given the latest update, then I'm going back to mining around the ores in my private worlds, because then that's going to create bigger self-made caves, and I'll be getting resources as I descend. I'm not sure what is most effective, whether just chopping through and getting the ores quickly is going to be most effective, or okay, I've got block 2. Plug that up. Okay. Or whether it's more effective to go around and keep hitting good resources. So for the streams, I just feel, yeah, I'm digging around for a reason this time because there's lava so nearby. I was thinking, no, I just started the habit again. So no, I'm fine. Okay, there we go. But in general, I want to try to chop through resources because I think the cost versus reward, the time cost versus reward is better when I just chop straight through the ores. Today is an exercise in improvisation for me. I don't really have a good set of topics planned to discuss. I'm working through the old streams that I've done so far. I've been looking at the YouTube analytics. And there we go. Need a block to fill that in. And I guess cobblestone is the best one I've got. Been looking at YouTube analytics for videos, and YouTube tells me that I am not the only one viewing my channel now, so that is wonderful. That is progress. And a number of people have been coming to the channel by searching for the latest snapshot, which I do put that prominently in the title. That makes sense. I'm a bit concerned that if you're coming about the latest snapshot, this may not be the place you want to be, because you're probably trying to find out information specifically on the snapshot. This isn't really a Minecraft information channel. This is a personality channel where I discuss my beliefs and opinions, and I happen to play Minecraft. So I hope what I have to say is interesting or entertaining or somehow informative, and you get value that way. But I because I'm concerned about misinforming people who are trying to come to the channel, I want to see if there's a way to give YouTube more. I am, again, asking for trouble. It's always the lava. Want to see if I can give YouTube more ways to connect people with my videos than just telling the platform that I'm talking about, Minecraft snapshots. And so what I've been doing, one way I could correct the issue would be to edit videos specifically on some of the topics I've been talking about. But like I've mentioned before, I'm not too great at editing yet. Still learning it. It's a bit of a chore for me. And I find that when I focus on editing videos, I have less time for producing videos, for setting aside time to stream, that kind of thing. I've got 5 iron, and I think I probably do want to at least come up with a bucket since I'm so close to the lava. So there we go. So I don't really... I would rather focus right now on producing new content in the form of these streams than polishing old content. Obviously, I do want to get to the point where I'm producing content that will work with YouTube better. And also, I think, from what I've been seeing in the analytics, I don't know how much of the results I'm seeing are from me going back over my videos and refining them. But it looks like the attention tends to stick around when I'm talking about things that are important to me. So that's good to know. It's not like you're just skipping from gameplay section to gameplay section. There's got to be water somewhere that I've been in these tunnels. So I'm going to go up the ladder and see if I can find a good source of... Well, I know where a good source of water is. Hello. That problem was easily solved. Okay. I'll just... I think I'm going to leave these here at my base. I'm going to create a crafting table and a furnace to carry with me. That way, if I die, there is something at my base that I don't have to rebuild again. And where would be the best place to put a pinwheel mine? Let's see, this is level 11 right here. I think I'm just going to take advantage of this pit down here, and that is where I'm going to start my mine. I'll just fill in this space and set up my trapdoors, and this is going to be 1 pin of the pinwheel mine. So the alternative that I've found to editing videos into new topical videos is I've been going over my old videos and putting them into chapters. And if you're not familiar with what chapters are, some videos, if you look to the timeline, you may find that the... Let's see, getting myself oriented here. I want... There, I think. If you look at the timeline for some videos, you'll notice it's more of a dotted line than a more of a dotted line than a straight red line. And you can usually see like the title of the section that you're on there. I think that's going to work. And if you click that title, a list will pop up and show you the titles for all the other chapters in the video. And you can just skip from chapter to chapter. You don't have to stay on a section, for instance, where I'm talking about gameplay. You can skip to a section where I'm talking about something more serious. Or if you are more interested in the gameplay sections, then you can skip to the sections that are more interesting to you. So I've been working on going through the descriptions of the videos, because that's how you set it up, which then makes it easy for YouTube to search through the video and hopefully recommend it to the people who care about that content. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we make the catch. So here we go again, and I'm going to repair this, repair this pickaxe here. So that's what I'm focusing my time on lately, is getting the videos chaptered so that YouTube can tell people what they're really about instead of just Minecraft. And then hopefully people will be a little bit less disappointed with what they find here. Not that I'm expecting people to be disappointed. Hopefully this is entertaining and informative enough to make up for... I need iron. I'll just have to go around. There we go. All fixed. Why am I not connecting with my tunnel? Because I already did. Okay. Once I get done making the chapters for the videos, my next plan is probably going to be learning how to make good thumbnails. So let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I can just plug up this whole tunnel here. And this will be 1, 2, 3, 4 for the catch. Maybe a little more than that. Tell you what. Hate it when that happens. There we go. More trapdoors. All fixed. I'm getting better at the pinwheel mine technique. So hopefully it's easy. Well, it seems like it's easier for me to repair those kinds of mistakes. It doesn't seem like those are as big a concern anymore. The next concern I have is if I stand up in the middle of the floor, like down there. I think it would be harder to get back into position from down there. I would probably just have to dig a hole above myself and then fill it in that way. Dig a hole, jump, get myself, fill it in so I'm standing on the correct level again. So this is what I want to fill in here. Oh, I was trying to trigger that redstone again. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can fill in that one. And we need some more torches. Okay. Recently I've been, for the videos, I've just been going through the default thumbnails and clicking the YouTube gives you YouTube gives you 3 options by default, and I think it chooses one, but you have the option to choose one of the others. Okay. So I've been, trying to keep my thoughts together as I try to keep the topic together. I've been, mainly I've been trying to select the most interesting of those thumbnails, since I'm not confident with my skill at making thumbnails. If you want to see my skill at making thumbnails, you can check out my video on how to defeat perfectionism. And I've got a horrible thumbnail there. I think the default thumbnails are actually better than the thumbnail that I wound up creating. And I think the reason that thumbnail is not to my liking is, as I was thinking about the content of the video, for me, the importance of the video is 80% the message, and then the video game is like 20% important. It just keeps me talking. Maybe it keeps you interested. So, I'm going to stand up, because we know I know how to get back down again. The Minecraft gameplay is really just there for my benefit, and then if you find it interesting, then it benefits you. I don't consider that part very important, but I think to most viewers, let me know if I'm wrong. Either you can tell me in the chat, which I am going to pop out to a larger size because we know how bad I am at catching the chat. Oh, by the way, I am experimenting with the ultra low latency for this stream. So that is supposed to help things to go faster, more real time, so that if you comment in chat, then maybe I'll see it faster, and then you'll see my response faster, and we'll have a better chance of catching one another. So we'll see how that goes, and if it affects the quality of the video, I do apologize. I'm still learning all the ins and outs of being a YouTuber. Anyway, regarding the thumbnail on the anti-perfectionism video, I made it to reflect how I understood the video to be, which is 80% message, 20% Minecraft. So it's about flailing forward, and I get the idea from how babies, when they're starting life, flail their arms and legs around, and eventually grow into adults who are good at everything they attempt, or at least at the things they choose to put their time and effort into. And the idea is, if we just are content with the progress we're making, it is at least as good as a baby flailing its arms and legs around, probably better. So we don't have to get frustrated when things are not absolutely perfect the way we're expecting. If we're starting a new skill, or if we're working on a new project, we are growing. And hold on, I think that torch might be a good idea to keep around. We will get better at what it is that we are setting out to do. So we don't need to be frustrated with ourselves as we're growing and developing. There's a verse in Ecclesiastes that says the end of the thing is better than its beginning. And I thought that verse was interesting as I've come across it recently. I'm just checking on where I am. So I wanted to come this way, and this is my catch. So I don't need all of that space there. That was just a distraction because of the coal. There we go. This is the catch, and now I can go this way. After I repair and replace my pick. Actually, I have enough to get an iron pick. So there we... Oh, I want to do that a little more efficiently. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, make 6 items burned, and I'll just continue with what I've got until that has finished smelting. I don't remember where I left off with the flailing video, but what's really important, what I was really talking about, is the thumbnail for it definitely represents my attempts at flailing forward in the direction of creating thumbnails. I don't know, I get a nice, well, I will have an iron pickaxe, nice. I don't know why I get a feeling that it's something that might have been put together from the 80s. I don't know what it is about the thumbnail that gives me that impression. There, now I'll create the pickaxe. So someday I will be coming back to that thumbnail, remaking it, and then we'll see how the video does. I'm probably just going to wind up revisiting the topic of that video in the future, because I think what I was spelling out was pretty valuable. It was a useful way for me to think of a topic that I've heard others mention before. I've got plenty of coal. I don't need any more coal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's a catch with diamond. Did I really just make a stone pickaxe? Okay. I want an iron pickaxe. There we go. Anyway, I'll probably redo a video, because when I did that one video on flailing forward, it was my first video on the channel, and I was kind of hoping to create a video that I could laugh at in the future and say, look how new I was, look at all my mistakes. So I definitely, in the description, pointed out there would be mistakes and left them in for, I didn't focus on editing them out, which helped me to move forward with the channel anyway, because who knows how trying to edit the video might have stalled me if I had made that attempt. So 1, 2, 3. Something wrong here. Okay, that's what's wrong. That's fine. But I have iron, so I can clean this up. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, good. Alrighty. Let's see. Trying to get back on track as soon as possible. Let's see, thumbnails and flailing forward, and whether or not I would revisit the topic of that video. And I'm going to make a catch here. Because the mistake that I made in that video, the biggest mistake that I made in that video was not editing it. So I think a lot of people who might be interested in the idea of not being a perfectionist and seeing how that information might help them, hear me kind of rambling about being a new YouTuber and say, well, this is not interesting to me, and they get out before I even get into the point of the video. So someday in the future, I would like to streamline that video. Let's see. But first, I'm going to be working on making better thumbnails and seeing where my skills take me in that direction. And now that I've got descriptions all sorted out, or I will have descriptions all sorted out, I'm still working on some of those videos, then let's see, I just got distracted wondering what my resources were. I would like to get more iron. So, there we go. And there's some gold here. That would be useful to get for when I'm wandering through the Nether. There we go. I just don't want piglins attacking me. let's see, I was talking about thumbnails, and then because I've been working on the descriptions of the videos that I've already done, then hopefully YouTube will recommend the videos better and more people will click on them, and everything will work out fine that way. Because always, my goal for the channel is first and foremost to put out videos that people eventually will or could discover, even if that person is an archaeologist who digs up a scuffed, or maybe not so scuffed, hard drive from, or server from YouTube, and has the technology to restore it and see what the documents were that were encoded on it. I just want the material I talk about, mainly regarding my Christian beliefs, to be available. That is first priority. That is pretty easy to accomplish. That is something within my control. Thankfully, YouTube is showing my videos to actual people, some of whom come into chat. So then my second priority is making this experience a good one for you, the viewer. Or you, the person who will be participating on the stream through chat. So that's where I'm working on it. That's a two-forked road. On the one hand, I need to learn how to be more interactive. So as I'm thinking about it, I'm trying to look down at the chat more often and just make sure there's no text there. YouTube, of course, has the message at the top of the chat to remember guidelines, and I think because that text is there, if another line of text comes in, I don't know why my game does those little freezes. I do know that they show up on the video. Obviously they do, because I can't even keep playing when it freezes. I have to wait until the computer catches up, so I'll have to learn how to fix that. But I think because of the text that YouTube has at the top of the chat, if another line of text comes in, it is less easy for my eye to pick up in peripheral vision. Okay, so I've got gold here. I don't need all of this gold, but since it's here, I'll pick it up. And then I'll put any that I don't need away in my chest. I think I've already got 3 pieces of gold in my chest, so I am well set regarding gold for a trip to the Nether. I'm trying to figure out the best item to fill this in with. Preferably the block that is smallest in my inventory. By the way, we're going to have to go get supplies for more bundles. That is my catch, and then I was just going to connect with the next branch. And wherever I left off. I don't even remember the topic. Probably for most viewers, running YouTube is probably not so interesting if you're not planning on running a channel yourself. I do build this channel as a place where I talk about our culture, particularly, I guess, Western culture, since I live in the United States, through the viewpoint of my Christianity. Sometime I'll come back to the video, see where I left off, and then I'll decide to address that topic again. But for now, I'll just leave it left. To be honest, I am... let me go ahead and start with an example, and then you'll pick up where I'm going with this. I miss a lot of references. I am very happy when I understand what someone is talking about regarding movies or video games, or memes in general. And the reason for that is, as I've mentioned in previous videos, I've grown up being more cautious about the media I take in. If there's been any language, I didn't want to get involved. If a story looked like it wasn't going to line up with my Christian beliefs, I didn't want to. I just looked down at chat and I think I remember what else I was talking about, but I'll see if I remember it in the future. If there was a chance the story that I would get emotionally involved in was going to have things that were not according to my values, then I'd just as soon not see the story, not involve myself in the story. And so I missed out on a lot of the cultural memes that are out there, and I miss a lot of references. And I am interested in story, though, so I may get into that because I could probably talk for a long time about story. And you may notice I am not necessarily talking about stories because I am not as well versed on individual stories, but I think it's interesting how people can develop these stories in order to examine a message. My parents say when I was a baby, just starting to explore the world, they could give me like a cracker. And I would take forever looking at one side of the cracker and then flipping it over and looking at the back side of the cracker and then looking at the edge of the cracker and flipping it over and looking at the other edge of the cracker. And I think that is a tendency that has stayed with me. It's an innate trait with me. You give me a ball of tangled string, and I will be completely happy and occupied untangling the string. And then if you don't need the string for anything, I might tangle it up and then untangle it again. That's just satisfying for me. I might do the same thing with a deck of cards. I might take a shuffled deck of cards, and I have a system that I go through that eventually unshuffles the cards. And then if I have no plans for those cards, I will shuffle them up and unshuffle them again. And if I don't need to keep my mind occupied, and usually I do prefer to keep my mind occupied, but that is for some reason, I just don't get bored doing that. And I think I handle ideas in a similar way. If there's an idea I don't understand, then I tend to take the idea as literally as possible, which can be frustrating to people who are trying to discuss things with me because common sense says it should not be taken that far. But and I would agree, I should know common sense how far the idea goes. But if I don't understand why, then okay, I'm going to take the idea to its logical conclusion and then work my way backward and try to figure out why that extreme conclusion is not legitimate and at what point the idea becomes legitimate. So there will be examples that show up on the stream in the future, I'm sure. And to me, story is a great way to do this. You take a concept like bad company corrupts good character. And probably whoever's writing the story didn't necessarily decide, I'm going to write a story based on this motto. Maybe they do decide that, but a lot of the time you just come up with a character in your head or a world in your head that you find interesting. And you don't know why it's interesting to you, but something about it catches your fancy. And you want to explore the ideas contained in that world or character. Some of my favorite stories are ones where the bad guy has some empathy for the hero. Maybe he doesn't really care about the hero, but he understands the hero. Sometimes better than the hero understands himself. One of my favorite classic stories is Treasure Island. And we know in Treasure Island, John Silver is, I don't remember. Is he Long John Silver? Or is he just John Silver? I forget. But anyway, the pirate is, of course, the bad guy. We do not want him to win. And yet, he becomes friends with the hero, Jim Hawkins. And they develop this friendship through this friendship at the start of the story that weathers the adversity that their personal agendas put them through. So Silver is after the treasure, and Hawkins is in his way. Ordinarily, that would mean he's going to kill Jim and do whatever it takes to get what he wants. And in the end, that's not what happens. I haven't read the book recently. I like Disney's version, Treasure Planet. So I have watched Treasure Planet more recently, and I do know that other editions of the story run in this line where it's Silver and his decision to honor their friendship instead of taking the treasure that marks the end of the story. That sets the story on a happy ending. Anyway, I think I like stories where the quote-unquote other, the person who is on the opposite side of what we would understand to be right and good. Let's see, I think I've kind of blocked myself up from the square lava. Okay, I'll get there eventually. I like stories where there's an opportunity for two people on opposite sides to understand each other. And of course you can see how that plays out in my goals for this channel. We may not see eye to eye, but I would like to understand you, and my goal in creating this channel is to help you understand me. I do believe that my Christianity puts me in a different culture than typical American culture. And the decisions that I've made along the way, such as which movies I'm going to see and not see, that just widens the gap. And so I would very much like to narrow the gap and try to empathize with people who are different than me. And so that is one of the benefits of having a live stream, is I get to have those conversations with you. And of course, I've said this before. I'm very, very much looking forward to when this channel is big enough that we can have communication and you know what kind of conversation to expect from chatting with me. And from when I can get to know you, my audience, personally. Actually, I can now expand that water pit so it's not so scary. Let me just get a better pickaxe here. And then maybe I can focus on rescuing that diamond down there, which I know what I'll do. Ta-da! Now I'll definitely be able to get that diamond. So the least rock I have is here. And I've got some extra water here. Good. And now I don't need to worry about bumping my feet on the edge of the pool here. Okay, looks good. So how much diamond is down here? Looks like just the one. Unless there's one underneath it. Lots of coal. So yeah, that's the only diamond, but I'll take it. And then we don't have the lava down here to light the pit, so I'll just go ahead and leave a torch there. And then I think there was some 1, 2, 3. I think there was some diamond in this chasm too. There it is, way down there. Think it's worth checking that out? Leaned a bit close to the mic there, so I hope that didn't affect the audio negatively. I think I'll take the risk. Tell you what, I am going to put stuff in my chest before I take that risk. So I don't need that iron yet. I'm going to put that there and that there, just in case I die and I need a good starter set to work with. Yeah, I'm going to put that. Okay. I've got plenty of building blocks to bridge my way across. And I don't have a good weapon other than my pickaxe. I'm just checking to see if there's any monsters above. Let me get off of the lava before I allow myself to get distracted in my inventory. There we go. So just one here, but that will be enough for a diamond pickaxe, which will be enough for me to get some obsidian. And I think while I've got this bridge here, I'll just widen it a bit and make it less scary. There we go. Yay, diamond pickaxe time. Come to think of it, I don't need obsidian, right? Because I've got a portal somewhere around here. I'm sure I can find another use for that diamond. I just need more iron, which I'm working on. I have enough for armor. So I'm making good progress. And then I'll let that cook, and then I'll make myself some gold boots. And then I'll be ready to enter the Nether. Meanwhile, I'll reacquaint myself with where my portal is and check out what else is upstairs. So I got started on the topic of story. Tell you what, I'm going to get my crafting table and my sword. May as well make a sword. I could do it. Here, there we go. So I got started on the topic of story, which not necessarily particular stories, since I'm not as versed in those as most of the culture. I do like spoilers, so As long as nobody in chat objects to spoilers, I do not object to spoilers. I find spoilers are a great way to learn about stories and skip all of the nasty stuff that gets included in a story and has nothing to do with the direction of the story. 1, 2, 3, and I've got enough gold for boots. Okay. What else do I need? I don't know that I want... Tell you what, I'll take half of my iron with me into the Nether, in case I need it. Put on my boots. And what else do I want to take with me? Little food. I could see about building a grove before I go, just getting one started. That way, if I die, this stream is getting kind of morbid. I'm always talking about if I die, but what's that line? I guess fortune favors the prepared. Not that I believe fortune has much to do with anything. But if I die, then there will be a good setup for wood and saplings. Of course, I've got the whole oak forest behind me, but I just like setting up the groves. I have more wheat available too, so I'll do my farming. And it happens to be turning night. I think if you plant crops in rows, if I understand correctly, then the game speeds up the growth of those crops. If you have multiple crops, then you can plant those alongside one another. This might be enough for the start of a farm that's going to keep me fed, and then I can consider raising chickens or something. I started to talk about the study of story, and I think there's a tool that I've heard of that really helps me to kind of grasp the direction a lot of stories are going. Of course, when you're in school, we're all told that a story needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And that lends itself to a 3-act structure. You have the beginning and the middle and the end of your story. But a lot of times when authors are writing their stories, they find that that middle just tends to drag on. So some people like to think of stories in 4 parts, 4 different acts. The middle is one big long 2 acts in the middle of the story. And I am just going to... Yeah, I was going to make that oak grove. And there's a storyteller, and when I say that, we think of oral stories, so I should probably put it differently, but my interest in him is for his way of telling stories. A fella named... Oh, I left my saplings behind. Up. I need to expand that hole too. That almost was terrible. So this fellow named Dan Harmon, and you may have heard of him from TV shows he's done. Some of the more popular ones would be Community or Rick and Morty. And I have not seen these TV shows. So I am not actually familiar with the stories that Dan Harmon tells. I did come across his way of thinking about story, which is called, he calls it the story circle. I believe that's his name for it. And the story circle, think of a pizza that is cut into 8 slices. So it's cut from top to bottom vertically, and it's cut from left to right horizontally. There's a line in either of those directions, and then it's cut along the diagonals. And you start at the 12 o'clock position on this pizza. So starting from 12 o'clock, the next slice over to the right is the first part of your first act of the story, and each act is separated into 2 parts. And the reason Dan breaks the story circle down this way is because of another person who studied stories named Joseph Campbell. And Campbell wasn't really a story writer, but he was interested in how societies tell stories because every society has its particular stories, has its myths, but a lot of those myths tend to be very much like one another. And he thought that our stories also tended to run along these lines. You tend to have a hero who gets called on some adventure, and the hero is not very heroic yet. He's not ready for the adventure, so he often refuses this call. Has to go on the adventure anyway. He finds a mentor who gives him his helps him on his first steps into the adventure. And I don't know if Campbell called this out, but often you find this mentor dies, because if the mentor was there to help the hero the whole way, then it would be the mentor's story and not the hero's story, right? The hero has to cross some sort of threshold. Usually there's a guardian there to block his way, but that's not the main boss. It's just a way to prove that the hero is ready for the rest of the story from that point on. Saplings. Oak Grove. That's right. So after he crosses the threshold, there's a series of trials. The hero develops some tools that are going to help him on his adventure. And then he comes across something that he thinks he wants. All along the story, he's had this want that he thought was so necessary. And he has the opportunity to get what he wants. But it comes at great cost. I think in some stories, the hero actually takes what he wants, but he finds out that it's not what he needs. That he's given up something valuable in order to acquire this thing that he's been wanting the whole story. In other stories, he realizes ahead of time that the thing he wants is not the thing he needs, but now he says no to it. He rejects it, but it pains him because, of course, this is the thing he's been wanting the whole story, and he's got to basically change his sense of identity in order to go on without it. So he pays a great price for this thing that he's been wanting. And then it's kind of analogous to having to die and being born again. He dies to his old self, and he comes back as a new person who is then better able to deal with the challenges of the story that come next. And of course that's important because the challenge that comes next is the climax of the story, the most harrowing and important part of the story. And he faces the evil monsters or the villains, and he's been on a journey this entire time, changing from the person he was. Now that he's finally gotten the true reward of the story, not just the thing he mistakenly thought he wanted, he gets to bring that reward back with him. And the reason he's a hero is because what he brings back with him benefits those that he left behind. He comes back and makes his society better from having improved himself over the course of this journey. So a lot of the stories that we tell ourselves tend to run along this line, and there's something universal about it. It's like society is trying to discover something about ourselves through all these stories that we tell each other that are basically the same story over and over. I don't think there's anything here I particularly need. So I think I'm all set to go into the Nether. I think I'll get an axe. because there's trees out there. I might need those. I think I'll get a shovel in case soul sand is useful to me. And then I'll tuck away some of my iron for a rainy day. I think I've got everything. So, time to go brave the Nether again. So Dan Harmon basically takes this, the hero's journey is the big story that I've just described to you. And he breaks it into 8 parts. And the first part, he relates to the word you. And it's basically the beginning of the story. This is the hero that we see at the beginning of the story. Maybe he's a farm boy who doesn't realize that he was orphaned by the royalty of his kingdom. Let's see. I marked my way with cobble last time, right? And I've got plenty of cobble. Where did I go? That does not look familiar. But then again, I do forget a lot from stream to stream. That looks more familiar. Let me just make this path a little safer. Yeah, that's more familiar. Okay. Now, is this even the right direction? Because I'm heading... That does not feel right. Why did my computer shift my, the focus off of my game? Okay. Let's see, so Dan Harmon starts with... This should be facing north. Was I heading in absolutely the wrong direction the whole time? So the first step in a story, according to Dan Harmon, is the U step. U has to do with where the hero starts out. Not very heroic yet. But then the hero has to go. He has to start on this journey. So if we look at the story pizza, the first slice is you, the second slice is go, and it is right next to the line that cuts, there it is, right over there. I was heading the wrong direction the whole time last stream. Okay. That was easy. Don't anybody make this difficult for me. I just have to get up there, but that should be as easy as pillaring, no problem. So the second slice of the pizza is right along the cut that goes across the middle, the horizontal cut. And that cut's important because it marks the threshold between the upper and lower half of the pizza. And this is where it's like it's a dividing line between two worlds, the way I've seen it described. You have the ordinary world, which is where slices 1 and 2 take place. But the hero is about to go on a journey to the extraordinary world. It's a world of chaos. It's a world where he doesn't know the rules of where he's going yet. So like in Treasure Island's Treasure Planet, it would be where the inn that Jim Hawkins has been living in all of his life is destroyed, and now he has to go on this expedition by ship to see what's on this treasure map of his. Let's see. Okay. I really should make sure that the path I create for myself is safe. I just want to get to that portal, but I gotta think about the way back, too. So now all of the rules have changed as the hero is going to the extraordinary world. They've got to learn their way through there. This is the threshold part of the hero's journey that Campbell was talking about. Okay, good enough. I was kind of afraid there would be a gap in the middle here and I wouldn't actually be able to cross to my portal. But here I am! Okay, so if I want to go back, I forgot to mark the path, so I'm going to do that. I'll just make sure that I know where that is. And it'll lead my eye this way. I can start to go down the stairs. Okay. Let's see. So now the hero has to adapt, and that is the next slice of the pizza. Oh no, I've got the slices wrong because the first slice is you. I got that one right. The next slice is actually need. And actually it probably would be more accurate. No. See, the way Dan Harmon puts it, it's need, but the hero actually has two needs in any story. Let's see. Which way is the safest way across here? Which way did I come out from? Not this way. The hero has two needs in any story. He has the want, because he is not a true hero yet. He doesn't have the personality necessary to make truly heroic decisions, so he thinks he knows what he needs, but he doesn't. This is clearly not the way I went either. I think I had to mine straight through from the basalt, right? So I should be looking for a 2x2 entrance. Not it. I'll check it out anyway in case it connects with where I came out from. Nope. I'll just have to walk by the overworld and get back home that way. And let's see. And then I'll retrace the path from the portal again. From base 2 again. I just want to see if there's an easier way at all than having to figure out exactly which door I carved in the mountain. So the second slice is where the hero becomes aware of their need, and usually they become aware of their want because they're not thinking like a hero. They're not clear-sighted enough to see their real need. I'm losing track of where I can get in up here, so I'm going to get my bearings again. And then the third step is where the hero actually goes. They cross the threshold, that line after Act 2, and they go into the chaotic world, the extraordinary world. It's also linked with the subconscious. I think the reason for that is, as we're telling the story, that is what we're trying to assess. So we're no longer considering our situation in so I think my portal should be down beneath me. Now, the fastest way would probably just be to go to base 1, walk overworld to base 2, and then properly mark my path the next time. Let me just stay away from any lava, because that is what kills me all the time. So slice 3 is go. To go into the world where we stop assessing our conscious thoughts about where we currently are, and we start assessing subconscious ways that we can approach our own wants and needs that are being addressed by the story. That's not the way. And then 4, slice 4, once the hero has been in the extraordinary world for a while and realizes how lost they are there, they start to, the name of that slice is adapt. They start to adapt to the new world that they are wandering around in. And by the way, we all know that not every story is about a journey. Jim Hawkins gets to go on a journey in Treasure Island. I'm just going to check here because I'm seeing that basalt back there playing tricks on my brain. Yeah. I'm just going to see what happens if I dig straight back. Sometimes what happens in a story is a person never leaves their home, never leaves what's comfortable to them. But the situation they're in becomes uncomfortable. So for instance, I'm just going to make something up off the spot, up on the spot. What if you've got a story about a girl whose dad is still grieving after... I did place that cobble, but I think that cobble is a mistake. I think I placed it to get down here. So I'm just going to take care of that. It's a false marker. There we go. So let's take a girl whose dad has been grieving the loss of her mom for some years, has never really gotten over her loss. Maybe the girl's learned to adapt to things, so this is the new normal for her. This is what she's become able to deal with. She's kind of the new mom in the house. And then dad suddenly decides that he's going to seek a wife. So the girl doesn't have to actually go anywhere. There it is! That is definitely home. Be it ever so humble, there is no place like home. The girl never leaves home, never goes on an official journey, but everything changes for her as a result of this woman who is now taking part in her life, wants to be a prominent part of her family. Maybe the girl feels like her mom is being... so close! Maybe the girl feels like her mom is being replaced. I'm going to see how much I can recover. I'm just going to go by myself. And so now this girl is going on a psychological journey. Maybe it's not a physical journey, but her world has certainly changed as a result of her dad's decision to draw a stranger into the family. So let's see, the hero starts out at you. Oh, this is weird. I don't think I want to go in that direction. I think I want to go... let me save and quit, and then I'll try to get in there again. There we go. This is better. Okay. And my stuff would be all the way down there. Should have brought a pickaxe. Because this netherrack is not going to be mineable. Yeah, no. There's some blocks down there if I can get down there. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Okay. Woo! So let's put on whatever I've got here. What's the best way up again? Okay, so I've kind of got things back to normal. The hero starts out at U, slice 1, discovers a need or a want, which they are motivated to pursue. That's their call to adventure. And in order to fulfill this need or want, they have to go, which is slice 3. And just to be clear, slice 2, the name for slice 2 would be need. The hero goes, crosses the threshold into this unconscious world to which they are journeying, the extraordinary world. And I guess the idea is if the solution to the problem were conscious, we wouldn't be telling a story about it. We wouldn't be trying to sort out that solution. We tell stories because we're seeking subconscious answers to our problems. So the hero goes into the subconscious world, learns to adapt and follow the rules of that world. And I am going to put a cobble marker here. I do have gold. Good. Had a mini panic there. So there is my cobble. That I don't think I would have found that door by myself. Going home to base 1. I just want to check out what I've left behind there. And then we'll see how easy the return journey is. So once the hero's adapted to the world, he's gone through several trials that have made him stronger. He's acquired tools. Got some cobblestone there. That might be an interesting book to hold on to. Trapdoors are always useful. And I don't think I need the rest. I'm just going to go upstairs and see if there's anything I'd like to use from upstairs. There's probably some good crops. I can probably do some farming and get some food for the journey back. And there's a chest up here too. I'll just bring those for fun. So as the hero gets stronger, he's dealing with his issues as not able to deal with the main problem, but is able to work his way to a solution that seems to meet his want that he identified in the second part of Act 1. And that is usually at the midpoint of the story that he has the opportunity to get this want. Usually this want is a counterfeit. It represents the old part of him that had not learned all of the lessons that he's been learning as he's been adapting to the new world and following new rules and learning new tricks or new facts. And I do have a chest here also, so... Okay. I might want those saplings. In fact, I should probably just restore this grove. And at the midpoint, the hero gets an opportunity to look at who he was versus who he's becoming and decide if he is on the path he wants to be. A lot of the time you'll see the hero reassessing themselves. Maybe they'll even look in a mirror as they're trying to sort out where they are. They'll see something that represents who they were. So that's at the midpoint, and then the fifth slice of the pizza represents take. They oftentimes take the thing they want. The sixth slice is pay. They have to pay a big price for their decision, whether they actually do take what they want or they hold out for something better because they're maturing as a person. And whatever it is, it usually weakens them so seriously that they have... I mean, this is the point when the villain really attacks. This is the point where the villain punishes the hero for challenging them. This is where the hero's decision to get what he wants reveals that he wasn't ready for the journey after all. This is the point when the hero's at his lowest and the stakes are at their highest. Right at the pay point. And the sixth slice is at the at the sixth slice of the pizza. It butts up against that horizontal line again. So the second slice was the first point where we met the horizontal line, and we crossed over it into 3 go, where the hero crosses the threshold into the subconscious world. And then at the very bottom of the subconscious world, Campbell calls it the belly of the beast. That's where the hero gets what he wants and pays for it. That's the midpoint. It kind of represents the hero shifting from what he wanted to what he needed. And then at that point happens as you're going from slice 4 to slice 5. And then from slice 6 into slice 7, we hit the horizontal line again between the conscious world and the unconscious world. The hero now understands themselves better. They've made all of the adaptations they need to the extraordinary world. And they now are equipped with the knowledge they need to actually defeat the villain. They've had one major setback, and now they're going to take the lessons learned from that setback and win the day. Okay, so there is my marker. I'm going to go this way. It looks safer. There we go. And I'm trying to remember what Harmon calls the 7th slice. It's escaping me. No, I know what it is. It's return. Now he's going from the extraordinary world, and he's returning to the world that he left. Things are starting to become normal again. I'm struggling to come up with examples. Here I am returning home. I still would like to get that curtain out of the way. This is the first time I have come back home from this direction. Okay, so I am going to store my things. And then I'm going to see if I can clean up that portal again and maybe not die this time. Slice 7 is returned. The hero starts on their way back to the familiar, the comfortable, the conscious. They are now more equipped to deal with the world that they left behind. And then slice 8 is change, and it's usually at the end of the story. You know, everything starts to wind down after that big conflict in the climax, and you start to see the outcome of all of the struggles that the hero has gone through. It's the denouement. Nothing is really exciting, but we all want to see how things became better for the heroes that were affected by the story. And that, I don't know if I mentioned, that slice is called change. The hero is now changing the home that they left behind, making it better by bringing back everything that they got from the extraordinary world. So that is the way that I look at stories, and there's some details I left out. I could talk about this for a while, could break down different stories according to what I've studied. I like to, I think it helps me to kind of predict how stories are going to wind up, which helps me to assume that I understand how those stories work. If I can predict them, then I probably have some knowledge, some understanding of them. Let's see, I want to get some more wood. I could probably, I was going to expand the grove over at the other base, but no, what I was going to do was clean up the Nether portal. That's what I'm going to focus on now. Is there any last thing that I want to leave behind in case I die? I'm going to need building blocks. I don't want to lose iron. I'm going to take half of the bread. I don't need redstone. I don't want to lose those. Let's see. The trapdoors I can keep behind. I don't think I'll need the crafting table. I don't expect to need the water bucket, but I'm not really... There we go. Okay. I think I don't need that. I'll just use up my stone pickaxe. So if I'm able to tell the direction a story is going, it's I think this is a good tool to try to figure out what the story is trying to say, what its message is. I do believe that stories have messages built in. Sometimes I'm frozen. Okay, there we go. I don't want to go back home. I'm just going to make it easier to get out of there. And then I'll use some of this nether rack to block up the lava. And I am so very worried about making the wrong move and getting myself killed again. Not that I have much to lose, because I am very prepared this time. And that was the wrong move. Okay. When I was a kid, I used to like to read a lot of stories. I read a lot of Hardy Boys mysteries. Mom told me about the Hardy Boys series. Just a little worried that the lava would start spilling over at that point. And she introduced me to the Nancy Drew series. And I just like the Hardy Boys better than Nancy Drew. They got into more action than Nancy Drew did. Much of the Nancy Drew novel seemed kind of girly to me. The focus was on more girly things. I wasn't really interested. Ah, no, that's not what I wanted. Things are only getting worse. Okay. So what effect does that have on the situation back here? Nothing. There we go. That's better. And Mom would, and I refer to my mom a lot. She is my, aside from the Bible, she is pretty much the source of wisdom that I've always gone to in my childhood and growing up. So I will refer to her a lot. I want to see. Ah! Okay. Thankfully, I did not take a lot of damage there. And my armor didn't take any damage either. That's interesting. My mom would warn me about the stories that I read. Be aware of what agendas are in the stories, what the authors were trying to say that they didn't say openly. And at the time, all I wanted was to enjoy my stories. I didn't want to look for secret messages or anything in them. But as I've thought about writing my own stories, of course, the goal for me in writing a story is finding a new way to communicate a truth. And I recognize that what is true, in my opinion, is not always true in others' opinion. So I might think something is true. I might want to convey that in a story. And someone else might say, I've got an agenda. So I think the method I described of breaking the story down into 8 parts and seeing how the hero is discovering that they have a need that they did not initially understand is a good way of looking at what is the message that an author is trying to tell in a story. What are they suggesting I need as opposed to what I want? Okay, do I see the lava starting to come down? What I can do... Oh, nope, I can't build through a portal. Interesting. I guess if I try to reach through a portal to place a block, then my arm will go home and I'll just be left outside in the Nether with one arm at home, huh? Are we getting closer? I don't remember exactly what word I left off that thought on, but I'm sure you get the idea. I find a lot of Western stories tend to apply that structure. There's a not a series. On Netflix, there's been a movie, film, animation. It's called Flavors of Youth. And it's got 3 stories in it. It's anime. I'm not really... I haven't seen the whole thing. I've only looked at the first 2 stories, so I don't know how the 3rd story addresses itself. I probably should be crouching more as I'm standing here and don't want to fall off of narrow spaces. I'll need to go home and get more blocks soon, too. But this anime Flavors of Youth, I think it applies a different storytelling structure. There's an Eastern storytelling structure called... and tell you what, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head now. It's not English. And it breaks a story down into 4 parts. And it doesn't necessarily look at the story in the sense of a journey. It looks at... it sets up a topic or a focus of the story. It develops it a little bit, so that's the first 2 parts of the structure, is you see the topic, you develop it, and then you go to a completely different topic for this story. You look at a different aspect of the world of the story. And finally, in the last part of the story, you learn how these different aspects, what these different aspects have to do with each other. Oh, okay. So I was studying that one for a while and trying to see how that related to storytelling, because the interesting thing about the Eastern structure is you don't necessarily have to have conflict in your story. In the hero's journey, there's usually an antagonist or an antagonistic force that is keeping the hero from what he wants or needs. I'm running out of blocks, so I'll have to go back in a moment. So there's conflict kind of baked into the Western structure, but in the Eastern structure, the interest isn't so much in whether or not there's conflict. You can hold interest without conflict, because what keeps it interesting is how these 2 disparate parts of the story relate to each other. I think I want to say that the name of the structure is called Kishotenketsu. So if you want to look up Kishotenketsu, if this is at all interesting to you, then you would probably find more information on that. Let's see, more blocks. I think once I get that portal cleaned up, I'll call it quits. My throat is telling me it has had enough exercise. But I do want to make a easier route for me from one part of the Nether to the other, from one base to the other. Go back to the portal, and hopefully this is enough blocks to get the job done. I'm glad I've got that wall of stone on the other side of that portal, because otherwise I might move too far to the left and immediately get my shoulder melted by the lava. Nope. Am I getting any closer at getting this all cleaned up? I'm probably just sealing the lava in right next to the portal. Okay. I think now's a good time to... Yeah, that's the lava curtain. What happens if I just plug it in down there? I'm afraid I'll get in like a shower of lava over an umbrella. Now I need to find a way back up. Did I block? Okay, there's my way back down. It's completely safe. Can I walk straight through? I can walk straight through. There's lava above me. I'm just gonna set my heart at ease by placing that cobble up there. Nice! It's all fixed. I want to make stairs to get up to that level. Dare I break a block above me? There we go. No lava. Okay. So now there's like a lava bath right above my portal, right? What does that look like? I hear a magma cube somewhere. Okay, that looks pretty good. I can live with that. Because clearly I could not live before with that. Let me go ahead and clear up some of this cobble. Not all of it, but I don't want myself thinking this is the way to base 1. Okay. It will be interesting to head in this direction again. I think I will leave kind of a hidden marker. I shouldn't be able to see that from the door, right? Maybe if I see that, I'll remember there's something interesting in that direction. Okay, so back to base 2. I think I'll sleep in bed. If it's still nighttime, make sure that I've got a respawn point somewhere. I know I've got a respawn point somewhere, but just to give myself some peace of mind. Too late to sleep. well done. I'm starting to feel more comfortable in this world I'm calling home. So now that I've got a path into the Nether, I can beef up my iron. And then I guess we want to get some netherite, because we want to be as prepared as possible for fighting the Enderdragon. And I want to start fighting more Endermen also. And I think I need blaze rods. Well, I know where we found a fortress before. We'll be going back on that path into the interesting area. So, should be able to... I want to check one thing here. There we go. So we'll be going back on that path I just decoupled so that I can find the fortress and or I don't remember if it was a fortress or a bastion. We'll be looking for blazes anyway. I don't remember if it was a fortress or a bastion, but more time in the Nether, and hopefully we'll get prepared to begin finding a stronghold, so we can head over to the end, and on the way we'll get good and armed up. So I look forward to that, and hope you have a good time until then. If you see this video while it's a VOD after I've streamed it, feel free to leave in the comments what your favorite stories are. Maybe if it's one I'm not familiar with, I can look into it and become more familiar with it. Let me know if there's anything that you'd like me to speak on or do in Minecraft in future streams. Play kind, and God bless you.